So welcome everybody to SSL9 round of 8 day 2. We already saw the first two matches on Saturday and they were amazing. Let me tell you, if you did not watch those, then you have seriously missed out. I highly recommend watching both entire series, not even just individual games. Both series in their entirety were fantastic from start to end, so I highly recommend you guys go check that out. Of course, I will be spoiling those. They did occur a few days ago, so if you haven't seen them yet, well, too bad for you. So we had a bit of an upset, I think. Maybe not a huge, not necessarily an upset. I guess depends on who you ask. But Hero took out Mong 3-2, and of course we had what's his face, Movie, take out Haya also 3-2. So two very close matches, resulting in a PVZ semifinal on that side of the bracket with Hero versus Movie. And today we're going to be watching two more PVZs in Larva versus Bisu, followed by Mini versus Quanro. So unfortunately for you Terran fans out there, there are no longer any Terrans left in the tournament. But what this does mean is we have a very high chance of having a Hero versus Bisu finals, which I think would be absolutely fantastic. Hero, a master of ZVP, and Bisu essentially defining PVZ as we know it. So that is the finals I think many people are hoping for. I'm pretty sure Sonic would be hoping for that as well. To get Bisu in the finals, get some of that star power to draw the crowd. I don't know why we have this random Star League thing showing up here. This is certainly not right. I don't know what happened to to Bisu versus Larva. I don't know what's going on anymore, guys. What is going on? Okay, oh wait. Alright, I think that's the game. I'm so confused. Apparently it just like skips to VODs for a second. You know what? I'm just gonna resume the game from here. Just pretend that this is fine. Anyway, I hope you guys can excuse this this slightly unprofessional, I guess, start. But you know what? This isn't even professional anyway, so it doesn't even matter. See, that's what I love about being an amateur. People say you're not professional. They're always correct. So looks like I got a overpull action from Larva. Bisu going for the Forge Fast Expand. We are on Mist, which I heard that Bisu kind of doesn't play very well on. Of course, Mist was created. It was one of the maps created just for this tournament. There was another map that I don't think ended up being used. I think it was on like a desert tile set, but they had some balance issues or something, so they got rid of it. But Mist is still in use. But of course, we did see Bisu, you know, in-base proxy 2-gate against Mind, for example, on this map. So apparently not overly comfortable with it. But, you know, with the back bases and things and the close air distances, I'd imagine it's a pretty good map for mass Corsairs, which I'm sure Bisu would enjoy. So so it can't be all that bad for him. Alright, a couple people saying to turn the Korean up slightly. I certainly can do that. It's always a fine line here between making it just loud enough and not too loud. So I completely lost my train of thought. Excellent. Anyway, we got a pro being chased around by some Zerglings. That's all well and good. Notice there's only 2 Zerglings on the map. Larva not going to be too crazy about those just yet. However, in his round of 16 games in his group, I actually can't remember who he played now. And I don't want to go on Wikipedia to check because I'll probably get spoiled for these results. So that's suboptimal. But he played against some Protoss players. And he did like some crazy aggressive mass harass oriented ZVP, like running Zerglings around and backstabbing non-stop and just generally going crazy with the Zerglings from kind of the early mid game onwards. And you know, keeping that up all game long. So I could see some very interesting ZVP from him. Another thing that's going to be curious to me is well, these guys apparently you know, prior to the round of 8, prior to today effectively, they practiced with each other quite a bit because of course they are former teammates. They were both on SK Telecom, although Bisu of course was the star on that team and Larva I believe was just some random practice partner guy. So you know, not quite the same level, but they were certainly teammates. And Larva, of course, I know does practice very diligently for these Sonic events. Even though he seems like kind of a crazy guy and does sort of antics on his stream, he seems to be pretty hardworking. So that's pretty interesting. So I'm not sure if he's done some super secret training in this last week to try and come up with some strats, you know, to use against Bisu with some other Paralys's. I mean, I'm sure most people would agree with me that he's gonna have to do something crazy because Bisu will be outclassing him quite heavily here. Anyway, also apologies for the slightly lower quality on the stream. Apparently this first series is a bit lower quality, but for the second series of Mini versus Quandro, Stratos has provided me with a slightly higher quality VOD. So, or at least that's what he says. I haven't actually checked, but I trust in the Stratos. He's always there, giving me the VODs on time. So so many thanks to him. So we got this probe running away. Unfortunately for him, the speed upgrade has finished, so that is going to be the end of that. There's like a bit of a wall in here. Oh man, that probe's got a block. Oh god, oh no, that's not good. Oh shit, you see the Zergling shenanigans. I don't know why Bisu wasn't slightly more prepared for this and maybe pull a second probe. I think he tried to be slightly too efficient there, only using a single probe. But he saw that speed had finished, and surely he knows that Larva is going to do this kind of stuff in ZVP. So this is actually a pretty horrific situation for Bisu. He's got 4 speedlings in his base, only a single slow zealot chasing him around. He's going to lose a lot of mining time, crucially going to lose a lot of the gas mining time. You can see the Zerglings just poking in, forcing the probes off the gas and then running around to the side. Looks like, oh, he's going to lose 2 here actually. Slight error in the control. And Bisu, look at this, going for the counter harass with his zealot. This is absolutely wonderful. This is the kind of stuff that will really force the Zerg into making errors. You see, like that? That kind of error is almost directly forced by this counterattack. Oh, and he finds a cute little position in between the buildings, actually. Wow, apparently only one Zergling can attack from each side there. So Larva's own little Sim City kind of working against him here. And that Zealot! Is he going to kill all 4? No way! Oh man, purely down to that nice little nook. The Zealot kills the 4 Zerglings and gets away. If that were on open ground, he would have been demolished and been lucky to kill 2 Zerglings. Wow. Anyway, looks like a couple of Scourge are going to chase down this first Corsair. Almost certainly not going to get it. And looks like that Zealot will, of course, get taken down in the end. But that guy, pretty heroic. Anyway, so it looks like core spinning. We are going to have some +1 Corsairs coming out. And of course, Laditi as well. I'm going to come down here to this third base of Larva. Now Larva, you know, he had a couple of Scourge just now. It doesn't seem like he's made any more. Hopefully he'll make something to not die. Like now? Maybe we can just have, you know, a great flash into GG. Man, I don't know what's going on here. Larva, why are you not making stuff that's useful? Okay, there's a Sunken. He's gonna lose a couple of drones. He's gonna let the Zealot, actually the Zealot, I don't know why I got confused and didn't run into the main. But okay, so Larva's alive. Larva is alive. He's making some more speedlings because that seems to be his new style of ZVP now, is just to make mass speedlings and go crazy with them. I'm not sure that's the most effective on Mist, because if you look at where Bisu's taking his third, he's taking it on the inside of the minerals, which means it's not going to be vulnerable to Zerglings at all. But wow, another Zergling run into the natural, and that's going to be effective. There's still only 1 cannon here. That High Templar could get sniped as well. I think he should, well, between the probes and the High Templar, he's going to get some good damage. But there's a DT that's actually managed to run into the back of the natural, and that bottom right of the natural is not actually covered by the Sunken, I'm pretty sure, so can do some damage here. Both players doing some serious damage to each other. The DT is running in here. It looks like he's getting a little bit stuck. Oh man, and it looks like actually a DT's not going to do any damage. I have no idea what happened there. Maybe some kind of weird pathing. But on the other hand, actually no, I guess because the bottom, you can't, the DD couldn't run up the right side of the minerals because the mineral is completely walled on that side, so it had to run on the left side where it would be in range of the Sunken, and that's why it got taken out. But Bisu is not in good position here. Oh my god, Bisu's in trouble! Bisu's losing more probes! I don't even know what he's doing actually in his main base. He's still only got 2 Zealots here at his natural. Oh, I guess because his third base is so fast. Oh, I understand now. Look at this. He still only has 2 gateways finished, the one at his natural and the one in his main, because he got a really fast third base on the inside protected third there at the mineral only. That's why he's been so weak on the units, and that's why these Zerglings have been so effective here. And look at this, even the Scourge managing to connect with Corsairs. Now I understand is because Bisu has taken a very greedy third that he's been put in this position, and now the Hydra production has started. And the question is Bisu gonna have anything to stop the Hydras? He's got 2 High Templars. Hopefully he's gotten his Storm upgrade in time, despite all the probe disruption. But if the Zerglings run in here and snipe High Templar, it looks like they're not going to. They're actually going to run to the third base here, but there is 1 cannon there, I believe. Yeah, there is. So that's going to be fine. Bisu even just going to build some slightly mannering cannons. That's sort of okay, I guess. The Hydras, though, where are they going to go? Looks like they're going straight to the natural here. Now, it's not the widest natural. I mean, there is actually a good amount of space. Oh no! Oh no! Huge mistake! Huge mistake from Bisu. Because of the layout of his wall, the High Templar spawn on the outside, which means if you rally that gateway into your natural, but the pathing is blocked, the High Templars will actually run away from your natural to try and get back in because of just how the pathing works. And look at this! Larva actually just going to try and take down these cannons at the back of the mineral lines, and he's going to be successful. The 1 storm was expended, but it was not enough. Now, the Hydras can't reach the Nexus, I don't think. Actually, with their range upgrade, they might barely reach the Nexus if they hug the inside minerals, but only a few of them will be able to shoot it at a time, so it's not a huge deal. And we can see some Speedlots coming in from the back here. Larva trying to do some micro, but the Speedlots, I think, are just going to be a little bit too strong. There's not enough Hydras to make that work. We're going to have another Zergling run in, but unfortunately for Larva, Bisu already has 3 cannons there. Interestingly, there's no cannons here in the third, so those Zerglings could actually run all the way up and maybe kill a High Templar, which would be pretty hilarious if he can actually make that happen. Actually, I don't know where those 2 Zerglings went, but more Hydras coming out. I'm slightly nervous for Larva now because Bisu, you know, he killed all the Hydras that were at his third. He's got 3 cannons now at the natural, and he's got High Templars with Storm and a better Speedlot count here. So Larva's got to be a little bit careful not to overcommit to the Hydralisks and just end up putting himself into kind of weird all-in-ish position when he doesn't have to. I mean, I do like keeping up the Hydra pressure here because Bisu certainly is on the back foot, and I think if Larva's going to win a game against Bisu, it's going to be, you know, in this kind of situation, very scrappy situation where, you know, Bisu doesn't have time to really establish himself and get a good lead and, you know, just play this kind of very aggressive style. I quite like this. But if it doesn't work out, if Bisu just defends for too long, then the game's going to be over. And as you can see, there's quite a few Speedlots out on the map right now. I don't think these Hydra attacks are really going to be effective. I think Larva needs to take another base and start considering a transition here. I don't know, it doesn't even look like he's mining from that third gas at the bottom right. I guess he doesn't need to if he's only making Hydralisks. He does have +1 range attack at least for his units. Presumably +1 is done for the Zealots as well. Yeah, in fact it is. And looks like we're going to continue on here, but I mean, there's 2 High Templars with Storms, you know, there's a good number of cannons here, and Zealots can threaten a flank here and a surround, so I really don't like this. You can see here the Zealots right in the back and intercept. We do have a Muta switch, though, from Larva. We have a Muta switch. Muta's going to the main. There's no High Templar here, and there's certainly no Archons. There's no anti-air besides the cannons and Storms, and this is really, really good for Larva. Completely catching Bisu off guard here. Bisu, who is purely focused on defending against the constant Hydra harass, has left himself completely open to this kind of thing, and this is Larva really playing to the Zerg's strength. The Zerg, of course, with their unique production system, is able to very quickly switch tech like this and suddenly come out with a whole bunch of Muta. All he's got to do is make sure he dodges the Storms. Okay, two Storms, very effectively dodged, got both High Templar, and look at this, because Bisu actually lost most of the Corsairs earlier, he's only got 1 Corsair right now. The whole point of those Corsairs earlier, oh no, but a big Storm does hit the Mutas this time, and they take quite a bit of damage, but you can see Larva, who managed to scourge down the Corsairs earlier, was what allowed him to make the switch, and now he's going into the natural with a lot of Hydras again. And are there any High Templar? There's only a single High Templar left, because remember, 2 of the High Templar were already sacked to try and stop the Mutas, but 1 Storm, though, does land and kills a lot of Hydras, but is it going to be enough? The Zealots actually are going to get a little bit stuck here, a little bit funneled by their own wall. I don't know where the Mutas went, actually, but the Hydras, is it going to be enough? They're just engaging head-on. It looks like the Mutas have actually all fallen to a Storm and the last Corsair. Larva, who has made no attempts to get a 4th base, and is basically committed almost to just trying to kill Bisu right here, and I think it could work. He sniped down the last High Templar, only Dragoons left against Hydras. He just needs to rally more units, so I don't see that many reinforcements coming in for him, but it could be enough here. Bisu might actually drop the first game to Larva, and what would almost certainly be a mega upset. You know, just dropping a single game to Larva is an upset. I'm sure a lot of people expected a 3-0 here. I know Apoxide predicted that in his write-up of this matchup. that Bisu would 3-0 Larva, but look at this. Bisu is in massive trouble here. The third Nexus is almost certainly going to fall to the Hydra Focus. There it is. It's going to go down. No question about it. The Hydras remaining can even snipe off a few more units, and more Hydras pouring into the natural. Bisu can't believe what's going on here. Larva, the B-teamer, is taking down the Revolutionist here in game number 1. Storm on the Hydras, but it doesn't even matter. The third is gone. The natural is falling apart here. Bisu should just collect himself now and focus on the remaining games in the series. It is still a best of 5, so it is not even close to over yet. But this is an incredibly surprising start to this series, and I am very happy about this because this means we're actually going to have a nice PvZ here. It's not just going to be a Larva rolling over in the face of Bisu's might here. This, well, assuming that Bisu can pull himself together and not get rolled over by Larva, should be very, very interesting. So Bisu doing some emergency defense with the probes. He's actually killing a good number of the Hydras, but GG from Bisu. Larva takes game number 1. Look at him! He can't believe it! He's so exhausted. He's like, oh my god. I just beat Bisu in a ZVP. It wasn't even like a cheesy opening. He didn't Hydra bust. He didn't do a Ling all in. He did none of that. You know, he went up to his 5 hatches, 6 hatches, whatever it was. So he got his 3 bases, and then boom, smackdown on the Bisu. Now it's very interesting to me because Bisu went for the fast third there, and I don't know if that's something that maybe they practiced a lot on this map, so maybe Larva kind of anticipated that and knew that there would be a good timing for him, a good window for him to be super aggressive and just try and kill Bisu, because that's essentially what happened here. Larva didn't really allow the third base to stay up for very long and give Bisu the benefits, and kind of took down Bisu before he could really get that economy and the infrastructure going. As well as doing a really, really nice Muta switch there to just clear out the main. So, very interesting start to this series. The next map, I believe, is going to be... You know what? I have no idea. Let's just find out.